All right, we are back on the show floor here at Forrester B2B Summit, live on the marketplace floor, day 2. I don't know, am you guys getting tired? I'm getting a little tired. It's been a long couple days,
Yeah.
but it's been exciting to be here and just see a lot of the innovation happening, a lot of the just what's going on the show floor. There's only one booth here that has their name in lights, and that's Influ 2. And very excited to have with us here Dmitry Lisitsky. He's the co-founder and CEO of Influ 2. Dmitry, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Was the lights your idea?
No, not at all. I have much more creative people in my team than I am.
I didn't submit myself because I don't know that I'm a qualified lead, but that autographed Star Wars poster is pretty sweet. I like that a lot. I think that's a pretty smart way you guys are doing it over there. All right, so you co-founded Influ 2 in 2017. A little bit of a background in consumer media buying, enterprise tech, entrepreneurship. Why this product? Why this business? What drew you to this opportunity?
Well, my previous company was called GlobalLogic, and it was like a large IT services business. And it actually turned to be a very successful business. 35,000 people now, part of Hitachi Group. There's one problem about that business. Like, our marketing was completely useless, to be honest. And after we exited, like, I was thinking what could we do different to make marketing work like specifically for enterprise sales. And then I visited Demand-Based Conference in 2015, and it was really inspired by the concept of ABM. I think that was the answer to my question that I was looking for. So like, if you sell to a large enterprise account, like say Microsoft, like you want your marketing team to target Microsoft, right? So that was a great answer, but then I quickly realized that the technology like that is supporting this idea is not good enough. And that was an inspiration.
Yeah, I think there's so much opportunity in this space, and as it continues to grow, as it continues to get more complex, it's exciting to see sort of new players come and raising that. So $8 million raised 2021, Challenger in the Forrester Wave in 2022. You guys continue to grow and see success. What big angle for you guys has been contact level ABM, and a lot of players in the ABM space. A lot of us talk about it sort of foundationally. We need to be talking to the right companies, but more just as important, if you don't know who to talk to, if you don't know who to talk to about what and when and why. Like, every good salesperson I know, like they just need the answer to 2 questions. Who do I call next? And what do I talk to? And the building won't answer the phone, right? And so like, talk about the importance of that contact level information to really operationalize any good ABM program.
Yeah, well, I guess the biggest challenge that, like our first customer had when they launched Influ 2, and initially it was purely advertising play, right? So we figured out how to do contact level advertising. And we answered a very simple questions like, if you engage someone in the account, we know who you engaged, and we can say who is engaged, like the names of people who engaged, and this is exactly the people that salespeople want to call, right? So like, that's what we tried doing ourselves first, really eating our own dog food, and then that worked very well for us. We saw like, okay, you have like twice better conversion rate if you call someone who clicked on your ad yesterday. And we just tell our customers, like new customers, like first customers, like, hey guys, do this and it will work for you.
Your data you guys published earlier this year says there's 5 to 9 people involved in enterprise deals. I think that's low. I think there's oftentimes way more than I've seen. I saw a company last week say they said on average there's 20 people involved, 13 internally, 7 externally. So that's hard enough. But your same data said that 60% of buyers say their needs change during the process. So how they think about outcomes they care about and how they think about why they're buying, for the majority of them, that shifts. Like, how do you manage a sales process, and how do the insights that you have help you navigate that while reducing friction in the process as well?
Well, we don't change the sales process. Obviously, the sales team knows better what they do. We support marketing team, and I think what marketing team can do for sales to be more successful in their kind of very complicated journey is to provide insights in terms of who else is interested, who else could be another champion in the deal, and like by serving as to these people, by listening to the intent, you can identify who else in this big buying group could be an opportunity to connect and who is really in the market right now, specifically like, at the contact level, who is looking for a solution, and potentially this person might not be visible in the sales conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking to a champion, it looks like it's going well, but still slow, and suddenly you know, okay, there's another guy from another division or like from another function who is actually looking for your product, and you
Mm-hmm.
can connect to those person and make a difference.
Well, and 72% of marketers think contact level targeting will define ABM's future moving forward. And I think there's no doubt in that. There's no doubt that you have to be talking to individuals. And I think especially as AI becomes a bigger and bigger part of how we operate, we still operate on a trust level. We still operate with trust needed between people. And it just, what keeps stuck in my mind is like the majority of those priorities that change in the process. And if we're stuck in one place and not listening to people and not listening and observing the behaviors that change, we're still working down a path that is no longer a priority for that active buyer. And so having that insight is just critical. So excited to have with us today Dmitry Lisitsky. He's the co-founder and CEO of Influ2. Do you mind if I ask a question about Ukraine?
Yeah, sure.
So you founded this business in 2017. You're a Ukrainian-founded startup, founded in Kiev. And so despite all the success you've had, the funding, the awards, the recognition by Forrester, you're building a business globally in the U.S. while running a company in the midst of a war. I think most of the people listening to this have absolutely no idea what that's like.
Well, I think, obviously we have like currently we are not exposed so much. Like we have quite significant chunk of our team in Ukraine, but also we have like huge part of our operations in the US and in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I think also like the Ukrainian part of our team showed very strong resilience that no one expected, no one was thinking it is possible or needed back in 2022. So like 2022 was the year when we started, like the war started, but also this was the year we completely rebuilt our products and launched a new product in fall 2022. So the guys actually were building this product while
that's incredible,
like facing this situation when you actually need to move, being bombed and all this stuff. So I think that's incredible, and it's just like it's very hard to tell how much I appreciate each like my team member contribution to this.
I mean, that's like an unthinkable level of resiliency and commitment.
Yep.
To be going through that. That's not just a personal. That's just, there's so many levels to impact that has, and to still be focused on building something and growing something at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, I think we all face levels of resilience, but that's something I think most people just can't relate to, and it's very impressive.
Yep.
Yeah. You spent a lot of time in your career on the kind of running consumer advertising campaigns, and oftentimes we think differently about B2C versus B2B. And as I mentioned before, the buildings aren't going to take your call. The building doesn't write checks. We're still talking to people. What has the work you've done in consumer advertising taught you about what works or should work in B2B as well?
Well, I think that was early in my career, and the biggest, I think, inspiration I had, I love marketing since that was the moment we started doing econometric modeling, and I actually witnessed how TV campaigns that we ran impacted brand awareness, impacted revenues for our customers. And again, that was pre-digital. It was like TV campaigns. Still, you could actually measure the impact, and seeing that, it was like I was looking for same kind of opportunity to prove this impact in the reality of B2B. But the reason why I was looking for this, I witnessed how it works so well for consumer brands.
The one thing that impressed upon me with GlobalLogic and Influ2 is these were not really mature categories when you got in. Like, these were new categories that you got into. That's a whole new level of challenge for an entrepreneur. What draws you to that specific challenge of like starting in a place where a buyer may or may not know the problem that they have?
Well, I think I don't know. Actually, I don't have a good answer to this question.
All right.
I think what happened with Influ2 was actually the category was present. Like there was like demand base was there, 6sense was there, and our take was very contrarian. We said like forget ABM. That was like if you go to Web Archive and look at Influ2 website dated in 2017, you would see like forget ABM,
Yeah.
switch to person-based marketing.
Yep.
Uh, and we changed our mind actually. It's in that we realized, okay, this is like a very good concept, but there's a lot of great ideas about ABM. It's more about technologies than the strategy.
Yep.
So we kind of merged into a broader stream of ideas and kind of which were kind of good ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like initially it was very contrarian, and I think for early adopters, for innovators who tried, we were our first customers who tried our product, I think that was like resonating. But then for the mainstream audience was like it's a little too aggressive, so we had to kind of pivot.
Well, we'll wrap it up here with Dmitry. Shout out to Doug Mady for making this possible and for getting you over here. I know you're busy this week. I'm always fascinated to talk to leaders and entrepreneurs about building not only companies, but building teams and building a culture. And when you've got part of your team halfway around the world and part of the team, just in various geographic locations, building and managing a culture is that much more difficult. But knowing Doug and knowing other people you've brought in, clearly you've built something special. How would you define the culture at Influ2 and why that's a special place to work?
Yeah, we have a joke that we are adult-only organization, which was like, honestly, I think we learned about this during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
I think pandemic had made all of us adults in the way that you have to take care of yourself and be proactive and figure out how you operate in this very strange world.
Yeah.
And we embraced it. We said, okay, this is a very good model for us going forward. And the kind of people we are looking for and the kind of culture we built was like about like people being able to figure out what the best contribution they can make to the company. And I don't think it is for everyone. I think some people just like need to be told what needs to be done, like very clear expectations, clear objectives. That's not how we operate. I think we kind of look for people, and people who love this kind of culture, they thrive in this environment. Like people who kind of self-starters, have their own idea about like what they want to build, obviously aligning, but still having a lot of freedom about this. And it's kind of special kind of people, and I'm lucky to have a lot of great people like that in our company.
I love the way you said that, because I would agree with you that when you can be specific about the kind of culture that you want to have and the kind of business you want to build, it's going to attract the people you want and repel the people you don't. When you can be upfront about here's what it's like to work here, here's what our values are, here's what's important to us. Because that it won't be important to everybody, and let's be upfront about it, make sure we bring in the right people.
Yeah, I think I spoiled a lot of recruitment processes when like I had like one of the last interviews. And instead of encouraging a person to join our team, and we actually wanted this person, it's like, hey, I should be honest, this is the kind of environment you will get in, and if it doesn't feel right for you, think twice, consider like, do you really want to be part of this team? And some people really get excited. This is exactly the kind of freedom I'm looking for. Yeah. But some people say, no, it's not for me.
That's right. Dmitry Lisitsky, co-founder, CEO of Influ2. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.